Hi everyone, welcome to week 10 of your Medical Language 2 course. Just a few reminders once again before we wrap up this week. This week is the final week of the course, so that means everything must be turned in by this Thursday. So for this course, please make sure that you have completed all of your regular assignments, the end of the chapter work, your weekly quizzes, and don't forget about those pronunciation tests. If you've not called those in to me yet, please make sure you've done that. If you're missing any of them from back at the beginning of the course, you can still call those in. You can also record them in the classroom, so you don't have to call my cell phone. If that doesn't work for you, you can do it on your computer and just record it there. But please make sure that you get all of those completed as well. Those 10 points for each week do add up, so make sure you get those completed. This week we are covering the final chapter, which is chapter 30. This chapter is all about the measurement systems. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be learning about the different types of systems and the terminology around those systems. We're not actually doing the calculations, we're just learning about the systems themselves. So there's 3 systems that you're going to need to be familiar with as you work towards learning how to calculate drug dosages and converting units. So it's really important that you understand the difference between those systems and how to convert between them going forward. So mostly we're concerned with weight and volume when we talk about dosage calculations. So the 3 systems that we're going to be focusing on are the metric system, the household system, and the apothecary system. Now, the metric system is the system that's used most widely throughout the world. It was developed based on scientific studies. It's all based on a unit of tens. So when we talk about the metric system, it's fairly easy to work with because of that being based on the unit of 10. We typically in the United States don't use the metric system. We use instead what we call the English or customary system. So the customary system uses things like inches, feet, miles, pounds, and tons when we're talking about weight, whereas the metric system uses the base units of liters and grams and then meters for length. So those are the differences between the system. You know, obviously the metric system being based on a unit of 10 can be fairly easy, whereas when we talk about the English system, you know, 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, things like that. It's not an easy system to work with compared to the metric system of measurement. And then of course we have the household system. This is also kind of dumped into the English system or the customary. So it's things like teaspoons, tablespoons, cups, pints, quarts, gallons, that kind of thing. So this is volume when we talk about these units. So anytime you're seeing something that talks about teaspoons, tablespoons, cups, pints, quarts, we're typically talking about something that's either a liquid or something that can be the volume of something. The other system that is mentioned here is the apothecary system. And the apothecary system is a very, very old system of measurement. It is still used today, but it's not very, we're not able to do a lot of easy conversions between this system and the other 2, so between the household and the metric system. When you think of the apothecary, it's really just, it's just not recommended that we use. You'll see the status here is, you know, JCAHO says we really shouldn't be using it, but there are still things out there that are measured in the apothecary system, so that's why we want to be familiar with it. Milliequivalents and units or other units of measurement that you may you may see quite a bit of. And then we have just some of the general terminology in this particular chapter. And of course, probably the most important thing is going to be to look at some of those abbreviations. So abbreviations are going to be used quite a bit as you're working on dosages. So make sure that you're really familiar with these. cc, cubic centimeter, cm, centimeter, and so on. So when you see something like fluid ounce, for example, you know right away you're dealing with volume because of that fluid. Here's another few. Grain, GR, is not the same as gram. So make sure that you realize that whenever it's GR, it's grain and not gram. The grain is part of that apothecary system. GTT is drop, so that's another one that might be something that you're not as familiar with. MCG is microgram, whereas just MG is going to be milligram. MEQ is milliequivalent. So it's really important that not only are we familiar with these, but we're really careful when we write them. Here's a few others. MIN, minim, is also part of the apothecary system. Let's see, these are just some of them from the customary system. So as you go through this week, if you have any problems or questions, as usual, please reach out to me. Again, make sure that everything is completed and turned in by Thursday, and have a great week.